What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hasan Piker, and this is the Hasan broadcast coming to you live from sunny California, Los Angeles, folks. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today is Tuesday. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tuesday, March 24th, 2026. We are sitting on stolen Tongva land, stolen Tongva territory. We're live, we're alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one regardless. Tucker Carlson versus the Economist.
Clearly, I think you and I agree. We have both been critical of the Israeli government. I just want to kind of clarify terms a bit here.
Well, I've really been critical.
Tucker taking a second there to be like, do I say it? Yeah, I'm going to say it. Like, you can just see, because it's like it's like a 98 mile per hour fastball, middle of the strike zone. Like, come on, lady. Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Your editors were caping for Israel immediately after October.
I've told you at the beginning that we were against this war.
What do you think of Gaza?
What do I think of Gaza?
Yeah.
I think the war in Gaza, to start with, was a perfectly reasonable response in response to the horrors of October 7th. I think now the places, I mean, I've been there. Have you been to Gaza? I've been to Gaza since the war started.
They would not
it's
let
catastrophic.
me into Gaza. Trust me, very few journalists get into Gaza.
Yeah, no, I went with the IDF. It's the only way that you can go in, but nonetheless you go in and you see a flattened place. I think it is a disaster for the future of Israel, a disaster for the Palestinian people, a horror, 70,000 people dead.
Why would you describe it first as a disaster for the future of Israel?
Oof, such a good
tens of thousands.
That's a bar. Like, this kind of shit is endlessly appealing to the average person because they understand it. They understand what's going on. They already had their suspicions, many of which would have been considered anti-Semitic. These suspicions would have been considered anti-Semitic not that long ago. But now it's the majority suspicion, right? It's the majority opinion. It's the majority suspicion. And it's correct. It's correct to raise that question, to be like, why do you say Israel first? Oh, it's a disaster for Israel? Tough titties. Would you say World War II was a disaster for the Nazi Germany project first before you have a conversation about like the Holocaust? Before you talk about the real victims? It's fucking ridiculous, right?
Thousands of civilians murdered, but it's foremost a disaster for the future of Israel.
It's
foremost a disaster for the families of the dead kids.
Absolutely. I made 3 points.
Because everybody sucks up to Israel in this way that suggests they're afraid. And everyone is afraid, and you know that. Everyone's like, the real problem is calling people anti-Semites allows real anti-Semites to flourish. It's like, no, actually, the real problem with calling people anti-Semites who aren't is accusing the innocent of a crime they didn't commit. And the real crime in Gaza is killing people who did nothing wrong. So those are the real problems, I would say. But no one can say it because you have to be like, oh no, but really, October 7th
I don't know what you're talking about, Gaza. We're having a...
Everyone watching this knows what I'm talking about.
It's true. Yep. It's true. He's cooking. He's fucking absolutely cooking, okay? It's ridiculous. It's one of those things where in the room, you might think, depending on the rooms that you are in, you might think, oh, you're saying the right things for the watchers of the Economist, right? But in the outside world, this video is going to be published. And when people see this video, they're not going to agree with you. They're not going to look at you as like a person who actually is doing a great job holding, Tucker Carlson to account. This shit's going to go fucking viral.
Because there is, by the way, like where you could have a dialogue with Tucker Carlson about how, hey, listen, you talk about all this stuff and you talk such a huge fucking game about how much you hate Israel. And yet, like, you go to the White House, you still have a relationship with the people whom you condemn as like being handmaidens.
The number one antidote, the number one fucking counter for the likes of Tucker is literally to say, you've been very critical of the ethnic supremacy that Israel represents, and yet you've spent an entire lifetime making similar arguments about making America the exact ethnic enclave that you want to design it as, where you talk about legacy Americans. I think he has no answer for that, because these guys at the end of the day want Israel, but for their in-group in America.
I would add one other piece to that too, which is that they want Israel for their own in-group, but that they know that the only way that they can get to that, like at this moment, like right now, because this is the most visible thing about Tucker's politics right now. And when I hear from people anecdotes about family members who are getting turned on to some weirder political takes, let's say, a lot of it does come through like this exact, like libs love the phrase like radicalization pipelines and sort of figurative language like that to describe what's going on. But I mean, like, this is how it happens, because somebody like him is able to, I mean, like essentially speed run past these contradictions because they recognize the incredible. I mean, like this is low hanging fruit. This is the easiest issue on which you can outflank the political establishment, no matter what side you're on.
Especially because like my big fear is that Tucker Carlson is actually winning favor with liberals. He's not actually winning favor with the Republicans. Like there are still Republicans who respect him, right? They might have a disagreement with him on Israel, but they still respect him nonetheless. And those Republicans might actually play ball if Tucker Carlson is the next candidate, right? Because maybe they place a higher degree of priority on like making America a WASP nationalist country, which is Tucker Carlson's primary purpose here. And what's terrifying about this is he's actually reaching to the other side of the aisle and winning favor as an earnest communicator against Israel at a time when the National Party is not doing that, because there is unfortunately a massive information and leadership vacuum on the issue of Israel. Okay, on the Democratic Party side. This is a huge problem, and I don't think people are recognizing that this is a huge problem. It's very frustrating. Those liberals aren't liberals because you don't know who Tucker Carlson is at this point. I don't know what to tell you. Brother, I think you're oblivious. I think you're oblivious to how little people pay attention. This is a highly clippable, highly salient, very viral moment. They see that, and that's all they know about Tucker Carlson, and that's it. And the only reason why Tucker Carlson gets to be this guy, the only reason why he gets to be this person is because, unfortunately, in spite of the fact that this is a 90 to 10% issue on the Democratic base of support, the party is not acting like it's a 90-10 issue. When Chuck Schumer comes out and says, like, my primary purpose is to defend Israel, I'm going to make sure that Israel gets all the funds it needs to continue waging its war, at a time when Americans are totally aware of what's going on in terms of Israel taking the driver's seat on our Middle Eastern policy, the Democratic Party is not even doing, is not even leaning into their own base. They are,
and also like Tucker's like asking questions. So it's like, is Tucker Carlson a Zionist? Like we literally the Gavin Newsom. That's essentially what he's, he got asked more similar questions by Politica, where he talks about how he is a Zionist or whatever. And I think that like if you're going to do the split screen of how politicians in the Democratic Party, how high profile figures are responding in this moment, it like, it hews closer to the Gavin Newsom side of the spectrum, where it's like halting criticism of the state of Israel combined with an affirmation in the an affirmation of the underlying ideology for it. And I think for somebody like Tucker Carlson, it just seems extremely clear. Oh my God, that is wild.
Tucker Carlson has a minus 27% approval
I did not
rating.
realize it was that negative.
Nick Fuentes has a minus 6%. What the
Okay, but
fuck?
look at the name. That's not, you can't do it.
Clavicular has a minus 2% because they don't have name recognition.
They've
chatters.
none. The Tucker Carlson thing,
am I on this list? I'm surprised that they didn't put me on this list. Zohran Mamdani's only at +1. That's crazy.
What's the source for this?
I don't know.
Yeah, James Fishback at an 11 to 7 plus 4.
Yeah. What is this? National polling by TPSI official. Jeffrey Epstein is at a +12 approval. Wait, what?
No. That's a lie. He's down. He's the negative 70.
He has a 12% approval.
But that's what I mean. I mean, like these kinds of polls.
Nah,
to me
this
always
poll is bullshit. There's no shot. There's no fucking shot.
I mean, directionally, I think that there's a lot of truth to it.
Yeah, no shot. 12% approval for Jeffrey Epstein. Look two above Zohran. Charlie Kirk at +3. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. And James Fishback has a higher approval. Aiden Ross has a higher approval than Zohran Mamdani. Yeah, this poll sucks dick, brother.
I like 50 public figures. They went with 50. Also, I love who's in this that's a politician. Gretchen Whitmer.
Ben Shapiro at +8.
Mark Levin at +7 is pretty funny.
Yeah, no, this is ridiculous. This is a ridiculous poll.
Was
this polled in Tel Aviv? Yeah. This poll coming to you straight out of Tel Aviv, baby.
It's because that actually is like Netanyahu.
It's the best poll. You are an anti-Semite if you do not like this poll.
Listen, in Israel, sometimes we have a poll. I mean, he does. I actually realized last night how much Netanyahu sounds like Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, and he also behaves like him too, so it's perfect.
step out of your car, sir. The Palestinians
Epstein
will
movie
not
plus-
step out of their car.
Epstein movie plus 90 if this is pulled in Israel. True. That's how we know it's not pulled in Israel. You're right, Chatter.
Mr. Arafat, I'm asking you to flip a coin.
Look at what Tucker is doing and what Zero Dems are doing. Yeah, I mean, Tucker
Yes,
Carlson
exact-
visiting the
that's-
Palestinian refugees in Qatar who were wounded during the Israeli genocide in
And
Gaza.
by the way, people around the world see this. I
Yeah.
think that like it's
Yeah.
one of the things that I actually really resent about the like people don't know who if you don't know who Tucker Carlson is by now, you're a fucking rube. It's like, all right, I'm sorry that like 7 billion people around the world did not watch Crossfire in the fucking 2000s.
Or like his like 2016 run at Fox News where he was on a tear about like leaning into like straight up white supremacist
oh yeah, no,
narratives.
when he was doing his like
And
nightly
he won that too. Like the Republican Party does great replacement theory messaging with regular frequency. When at a time when Tucker Carlson was doing it, he was first to market in such a position of prominence. That was a big fucking deal, guys. That was a big fucking deal when Tucker Carlson did that shit. I remember I covered it. I covered it extensively. That was new. And now it's no longer an issue at all for many prominent Republicans. All right, Noah's out for now. Commie Club Med, the 5-star revolution. Like, I don't think these people understand. This wasn't like a fucking tropical getaway in an island. We were there for a very specific purpose. And obviously they understand what that specific goal was because they're actively choosing to undermine it, right?
Why didn't these activists invite Cubans to stay in their hotel for the night? I'm sure a few did, but only after requesting hookers in Spanish.
Oh, gross.
You want a glimpse of a Yankee douchebag? Here's one.
Tourism is the lifeline for the Cuban economy as it stands currently. The government has very limited resources, and the American government makes it illegal for Americans to stay wherever they want when they're in Cuba. They have to stay in what they've declared as 5-star hotels. In comparison to the situation on the island, it's prosperity pretty much, and experiencing that dichotomy is like definitely me up. Definitely.
Now, nothing he said is true.
That's insane. I love that in most instances, it just doesn't even fucking matter. Like what the words that are coming out of my mouth doesn't matter at all. Everything I said is correct. Everything I said is true. They'll just simply say, oh, you could stay at an Airbnb. How are you going to put 600 people in an Airbnb when the island doesn't even have fucking a reliable energy grid? There aren't 600 different Airbnbs that you can assign for 600 people that are coming from all around the fucking world. There aren't that many Airbnbs. It's so stupid.
But we got to replay that last part.
Experiencing that dichotomy is like definitely me up. Definitely.
You couldn't have done that better if you scripted it. I bet he has a Grey Poupon suppository.
Like, I don't understand. I'm literally not even in the hotel here, for the record. I'm at a friend's house. This was a local's home that I'm in, okay? And not only that, but like, yeah, Ryan Grimm made me a fucking coffee. Are they saying it's because I'm drinking coffee like a gay guy? Like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, it's a tiny cup, man. I'm a massive guy. It's a Cuban coffee. What the fuck's the problem?
By the way, his glasses cost $1,400.
Yeah, broke boy. What's up? Yeah, I got swag, bitch. What are you going to do about it? Suck my dick.
10 times the average Cuban salary and 4 times what I pay my right.
Dumbass, anything that you wear is going to be like 3 times the average Cuban salary. It's a very poor island. We've kept it poor. That's the point. We've literally destroyed their economy through economic terrorism. It's fucking ridiculous. You can make that argument for every single thing that every single person that is like visiting the island is wearing. It's so fucking stupid.
Of course, they're also meeting with Communist Party officials because nothing screams grassroots rebellion like schmoozing with the government militants. I can't wait for the Yelp review, not for the hotel, but for the government. 5 stars, very attentive dictatorship, great gulags, chilled shrimp, could have been colder. But that's the left. They don't want to live under socialism. They just want to visit. Fly in, take pics, and leave before the lions, or in this case, reality, eats them. Hell, if they stayed longer, they'd find out that in Cuba, vegan means we can't afford meat.
Yeah, they're so gross too. Like the way they talk about the Cubans, the way they talk about these wonderful fucking people, like there is like this very clear, like they're primal animals. They're going to fucking eat them alive. It's fucking insane, dude. They make it seem like the Cubans that we were connecting with, the Cubans that we were like hanging out with, were all like primal animals. Like they're all, just so angry. They're so angry that these disgusting Americans are running around. It's fucking gross. And a lot of people don't even see that. Like a lot of people don't even comprehend that is the argument, the narrative that they're presenting is that like they're all savages, nasty as fuck. They don't even like they literally deny personhood to the average Cuban person. They make it seem like if Cubans are participating in like a government funded festival or like a government run festival that like Kneecap is performing at for free, they say, oh, they duped them. They bribed them with cookies. It's nasty. You think these people don't experience joy in spite of the fucking conditions they're subjected to, you fucking animal?
Fact is, Cuba's been struggling with power and basic services for decades. You know, the stuff that happens when the government controls everything and produces nothing. But these activists can't admit that. So instead, they play Che at the Four Seasons.
Yeah, they couldn't spin this narrative for your China trip, which was actually a tourist trip. But when you deliver humanitarian aid to the country, they put an embargo. They have to give the spin. Exactly. When I visited China, that was literally just a tourist trip. Like there was no other like humanitarian aid component. Obviously, it'd be ridiculous to deliver humanitarian aid to China. China should deliver humanitarian aid to us. Is it a good thing that they're covering you? This is the only time they're talking about Cuba? No, I think that's cope. I've seen a lot of like kind-hearted individuals, including those who participated in the fucking flotilla, that think, you know, that this is somehow good. I think that's cope, man. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I think we have to reframe the narrative. I think we have to reframe the message here. It's not all publicity is good publicity. They're very clearly aware that the goal of this humanitarian aid mission was not only to deliver humanitarian aid in person, which is one of the only ways that you can do that, by the way, but also on top of that, to bring awareness to bring awareness of the conditions that Cubans were facing. And instead of having that conversation, they're actively trying to have a different one, dramatizing the incident. I think they very clearly recognize that they're about to lose the narrative war once again, especially considering that like you can freely travel to Cuba and see for yourself what we've done to the people there. And they don't want another Gaza on their hands, you know? They don't want they want another Gaza. They are creating the conditions for another Gaza. But they don't want the perspective to change. They don't want people's perception of our involvement in Cuba to change from like, oh, this is just like not a real sanctions regime at all or anything like that. But it's just simply a byproduct of like the dangers of communism, a warning sign. You didn't play your monologue about the doctors that can't get supplies for a reason. Of course, that's the whole point. It's just every moment that you're having a conversation about like how silly, how stupid this humanitarian aid mission was. It's a tropical jungle trip. It's a med spa trip. It's not. It fucking was not at all.
And they're so stupid, they convince themselves they're helping, but they aren't convincing anyone else, especially the Cubans.
I'm like a fucking magnet for this kind of nonsense, unfortunately, because I have like such an active base of like psychotic haters that are constantly feeding like easy dunks.